Have you ever felt like your brain is constantly on, yet you're not really moving anywhere? You have ideas, plans, maybe even big goals, but somehow you're stuck in the same loop, overthinking, second-guessing, starting and stopping. Today, we'll unpack why smart people feel stuck, and more importantly, how to escape that mental clutter. We'll look at the hidden patterns behind overthinking, perfectionism, and endless planning. Every idea, every project, every maybe someday goal is like a browser tab. And even if you're not looking at all of them, they drain your attention in the background. That's why smart people often feel tired without doing much. Their minds are juggling 1,000 unfinished thoughts. Here's a small story. I once wrote down every single task I had floating in my mind: personal, creative, work, future. It filled 2 pages. But once it was out of my head, something strange happened. I felt peaceful. Because your brain isn't designed to store information. It's designed to process it. So practice mental offloading. Write down everything, literally everything. Then choose just 3 things that actually matter today. The rest can wait. This simple act transforms noise into clarity. Perfectionism feels noble. You tell yourself, I just want to do it right. But beneath that, it's usually fear. Fear of failure, judgment, or wasting effort. Smart people see too many possibilities, and that awareness can paralyze action. Think of it like this. If you can imagine 10 ways to do something wrong, you might never start. But here's the twist. Progress doesn't come from perfect decisions. It comes from feedback, from trying, failing, adjusting. No one thinks their way into mastery. They practice their way there. So if you ever find yourself waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan, remind yourself, imperfect action beats perfect hesitation. And yes, I had to learn that the hard way too. There's a quiet pressure that smart people carry, the belief that because I understand more, I should be achieving more. It's subtle, but it eats away at motivation. You start comparing your potential to your current results, and the gap feels like failure. But awareness alone doesn't equal progress. Understanding is only the first step. Integration is the next. So shift from an identity of knowing to an identity of practicing. Instead of saying, I know this already, ask, am I living it daily? Even small daily execution, reading 1 page, writing 1 paragraph, doing 1 workout, beats weeks of mental guilt. Smart people often underestimate the power of consistency because it looks too simple. But simplicity repeated is what actually compounds. We live in an age of infinite learning. Podcasts, books, videos, quotes, everything. And learning feels productive. You watch another video, read another article, and think, I'm improving. But there's a difference between consuming and creating. At some point, your brain becomes saturated, not because you're not learning, but because you're not applying. Try a small experiment. For 1 week, stop consuming new content. Instead, revisit 1 idea you already know and apply it deeply. You'll realize something powerful. Growth doesn't come from knowing more, it comes from living what you know. To bring this together, think of Leonardo da Vinci. He was a genius, yes, but also famously distracted. He'd start dozens of projects, paintings, inventions, and finish only a few. Not because he wasn't capable, but because his curiosity spread him thin. Many of us are modern-day Da Vincis, pulled in 10 directions by curiosity and possibility. The goal isn't to stop thinking, it's to channel thought into flow. Another story.
A friend of mine, brilliant at strategy, once told me, "I feel like I'm running on a treadmill made of ideas." When he finally forced himself to pick one project and commit for 30 days, he made more progress than he had in a year. Focus isn't limiting, it's freeing. Before we wrap up, a few warnings. First, don't swing to the opposite extreme. Escaping mental clutter doesn't mean shutting off your mind or ignoring reflection. It means balancing thought with movement. Second, don't expect instant clarity. The clutter in your head was built over years. Untangling it takes patience. Progress might look boring, but that's often a sign it's working. And finally, beware of guilt. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you've failed. It simply means your mind is ready for a new way of operating. Let's recap the 5 principles. 1. Act before you're ready. Movement creates clarity. 2. Offload your thoughts. Write everything down, then focus on 3. 3. Drop perfectionism. Imperfect action is the only path forward. 4. Shift identity from knowing to practicing. And 5. Apply. Don't just consume. Live the ideas you already understand. If you remember just one thing, remember this. You don't need a better brain. You need a clearer direction for the one you already have. So, if you've been feeling stuck lately, mentally cluttered, overwhelmed by your own thoughts, take this as your sign. You're not behind. You're simply overloaded. Start with one small step. Close one mental tab. And you'll notice clarity isn't something you find. It's something you create. If this helped you, take a second to breathe and maybe share this with someone who's also overthinking their potential. And if you'd like to keep exploring ideas like this, hit subscribe, because each week we uncover another simple truth about how to think less, live deeper, and finally, move forward.